All right. Last week the table was too far. Today it's too close. There we go. That's pretty good. How's it going, everybody? Those of y'all that are just tuning in here and are watching the replay later on down the road, my name's Austin. And of course, this is Fintastic Freaks. See, we already got a few people here. 3 people watching already. Had 7 likes here before we even started, which is always awesome to see here. Pride's More Fish and More. Good to see you there. Sandy Farrell is also here. My Tank is also here. Oh, excuse me, I missed a word. My Fish Tanks. Mystery Snail Guardians. 3G is just joined the party as well. Welcome, everybody. As you can see in the title, talking a little bit about, how to make a fish room. Because, obviously before any of us had a fish room, it had to start as something, right? It probably just started as a tank or two, perhaps, like maybe a 10 or a 20 gallon. My first ever tank, my first tank that I ever got that I was somewhat involved with, whatever, was a 5 gallon, where me and my father took care of it. But I would say the first appropriate tank that really kicked off this whole fish room for me was a 29 gallon tank. First thing I ever put in it was a Tetra community tank. I had like neons, black neons, Buenos Aires, giant Danios, even all sorts of really pretty fish, honestly. And started off as just 129, and before you know it, I get a couple of 10s. I get a 7 gallon tank. I get a couple 20 gallons after that. I get a 55, and then move here to the house now, and now we have 26 tanks up and running down here. It just starts so quickly. Before I get too much further, see, we got some more people joining the party here. Audra Meyer, welcome. Good to see you. Stephen P. Saw him at the stream here earlier today. Always love checking those out as well. A lot of awesome people have a lot of awesome streams here. Vanosky Tanks here saying hello. Welcome, you, Vanosky. We also got Nathan Meyer. Hillbilly Aquatic has also joined us. And I think that's all of it. Mr. Snail. I don't know if I said hi, but if I missed you, hi again, or hello for first time, Mystery Snail Guardians. Good to see you all here as well. Stephen Pete, rare sighting indeed, yes. But I guess the main thing that really got my fish room going is that, I didn't even really ever plan on having this many aquariums. The main thing that just kind of came up with me is that, you find one fish that you like. I think I've even seen like memes and such about it, and they're oh so true. The memes where it's like, you want this one fish, but they're not compatible with this one, so you got to go get another tank. And then after you get those, you find another fish you like, but they can't go with any of the 2 that you already got, so there's another tank, and like that, you're already up to 3. Maybe another one, gets along just fine with everything, but the tank's not big enough. So then you got to get another tank that's bigger to house that new fish along with whatever it gets along with, which opens up another tank. So then you get more fish, and it's just a big, long, repeating cycle. Also, got some awesome folks here. Right. Something, I guess, before I forget here, something I've been thinking about for the stream here. Well, actually, I've been thinking about a couple of things here in terms of the streams. One, might have to see if I can find some moderators on here. I believe somebody brought it up times. That's something that you might be interested in, or if you're regularly visiting, let me know. Give me a message on Instagram, or say something here in the chat, and I'll get back with you about it. I presume a lot of us have some shape, way, or form of social media and forms of communicating and what have you. Otherwise, I'm thinking maybe down the road, I don't want to say it's going to be an every week thing, because, given my day job where I'm always moving around and planning things in advance, it just be really crazy and probably drain me really fast if I planned for someone every single week. But I'm thinking maybe in future streams, might have to do some have some guests on here in the future and such. I've chatted with a couple people already, not really too many at the time being, but there's a couple of them here in Omaha that I've been like, hey, I'm pondering this thought. What would you think if I actually did it? But a little something maybe to watch for down the road. I would say that's a little bit down the road here yet, because things like that take planning, of course. But maybe keep an eye open for that. Thinking that maybe at some point we might have to get some guests on here now that I feel like I'm getting a better handle of the stream. I'm sure a lot to learn yet, but I'm more experienced than I was 6 weeks ago. Sandy Doherty has also now joined us. RB Animals and Movies, welcome. All sorts of awesome folks starting to come on in here. Perhaps something to also keep the chats going on this one. If y'all have a little something on how your fish room started, feel free to leave it in the comments below. Being a writer, I'm not new to storytelling. Well, truthful storytelling at that, but that's a different discussion, I guess. But if you got story, feel free to put it in the comments below. We're all fish fam here. We all, I'm sure, have our own interesting story of how it came to be. Actually, now that I say that, I see Audra Meyer saying, my hubby asked me yesterday to stop my MTS and seek help if needed. Multi-tank syndrome. Yep, I have a bad case of that myself. It started, try to remember what the number was when I moved out of my apartment to this house. Because, let's see. In terms of tanks that were running, I already had my 55, the one that's where my Exodon tetras are in, that is. I had two 10-gallon tanks. I had that little 4-gallon column, which I guess technically isn't running down here anymore. I still have it, but it's not, 4 gallons, and especially when it's in column form, it's just not a whole lot of space for a fish. Even a pea puffer, it still would look kind of cramped. It's only about I guess on a screen that proportions probably tell you nothing. But I don't even think it's a foot or even 10 inches wide in diameter, honestly. It's a small little thing, but I guess being 4 gallons, it's to be expected, right? RBN. Well, lurking and listening while I make dinner. Absolutely. Hey, if you're ever back on the chat door, be animals, what's on the menu, huh? Sounds good. I'll be right over. Ray Aquatics has now joined us here. Welcome, Ray. Good to see you here again. 13 people, 9 likes. Y'all are so awesome here. And I'm trying to remember. I wish it would show me the subs on here. I felt like we were getting close to 950. I'm not sure how far away we are actually from it. I keep trying to remember, but my memory sometimes, guys, is just absolutely terrible. But either way, I guess it's not too important, because either way, it's not 1K yet. But see, Dan's World of Fishing More has joined the party. Welcome, Dan. Good to see you. Another person I think I've seen now for the past few weeks here in the stream. All sorts of awesome folks here. I guess another thing that really started, the fish room that came to be now, I'm lucky to have it right now, partially because, my wife allowed it, of course. Right as we moved in, before we even really got the house to our possession here. Being told from the get-go that, hey, I like this house. What would you say if, you have the whole basement to put whatever fish you want down there, but nothing comes upstairs, which to me, fair trade. It was now it's come to be what it is, and it's not too bad. It's Some people like their sporty man caves. I mean, hey, I'm all about that too, being a sports writer. But a little fish den, perhaps some might call it. Coming down here, just pick a few tanks to just sit in front of and watch the fish swim about, do their thing. It's not a bad deal. Here's the next question for some of y'all in the chat. How many tanks do some people here in our chat here have? And by tanks, I mean you can tell me in total. You can tell me up and run. Actually, you know what? Let's just say, how many tanks do you have up and running with water? Doesn't have to have fish or anything, but ones that are up and running, using power. We'll put it that way. Hey, little activity there in the chat for you guys. I feel like this is another, tradition out of the stream. Today's drink of choice, Jamocha Shake from Arby's. Not sponsored. Pridemore saying right out the bat, not enough tanks. Hey, there's never such thing as too many tanks, right? Well, I guess unless you're like me and the fuse box kind of starts acting up, which in that case, you might think, okay, maybe there is such thing as too many. Yeah, once your fuse box kind of goes like, hey, then it's like, okay, we might want to chill out for a while. Standing Dirty has 15. Jerome, I don't think I've seen you earlier. Welcome, Jerome. Says too many, saying 50. You almost got double than me then, man. That's impressive. 3G saying 33. Awesome. Arbino, hearing the question earlier. Making sausage and peppers. Ooh, that does sound good. Those of you that don't know, I'm kind of into spicy food. I like that spicy stuff. Like, especially if I make chili. I'm all about the spicy chili, or I guess not burn your taste buds off spicy, but I guess depending on the heat, when it comes to the heat of the spice, it kind of depends, I guess, on the food. Once upon a time when I used to pop wings like nothing, and I would get some really hot sauces to where everybody else was just wondering how do you eat that? But I don't know, something about it. Hillbilly Aquatics, jeepers, 53 tanks. Impressive, very impressive. That is over double. I think that's over double plus one, I believe. To what I have, that is. Stephen P. Aquatics saying 1 empty, 40 breeder. Haven't got around to setting up though yet, but otherwise 14 up and running with livestock. All right. Oh, Audra apparently missed a couple. She says 35. What was she saying earlier? I think she said 33 earlier. Yep, there it is, 33. Still. If your fuse box is the issue, you need a linear piston and sponges. 50 tanks, 45 watts, and 500 watts. I'll admit the fact that I have each tank on its own light, its own filter, its own pump, probably doesn't help the issue. I guess maybe a little fish room tip here that I give, and I know some people would rather do the one system versus, what I do, but I guess my reasoning for why I do give each tank their own separate filtration is because, I guess, for example, say something goes wrong in my Amazon puffer tank. That could, if you got it all on one filtration system, then it could spread out to all your tanks here, from the 240 behind me to the 220 longs above it, or Finley's 150. It could get all over before really too much time passes at all. So that's always been my number one worry about getting one main filtration system if I got it down here. But yeah, a linear piston pump might be I've heard about those too, and I might have to consider that because, it might not be a bad idea to take a little bit of the stress off the fuse box. I'm sure if my fuse box, part of the problem is too, my house was completed in 1893, which, little fun fact, was a whole 100 years before I was even born. So it's the house isn't a spring chicken either, so to say. But it's I'm sure that doesn't help either, just given the age of the place. But yeah, I have been looking for ways to maybe lessen the stress because I still got like a wall down here ever since I moved some tanks over. Now that's totally unoccupied with tanks. I initially was going to do a little project on that one wall. I don't want to say a whole lot, but I was thinking of potentially building a plywood tank at some point because I feel like I've had this conversation before. If I have, pardon me for being repetitive. If not, oh well. Otherwise, just real quick, I guess the main reason why I really want to build a plywood tank is because plywood tanks are definitely the cheapest way to build a big tank versus, getting however many pounds of glass to build, like, say you want a 500-gallon tank and, that's going to be pretty heavy. This beastie of a thing here, I shouldn't tap on the glass when all the fish are right behind me. That was stupid. But, with the 240 here behind me, it took 3 adults here to just get it in the house and downstairs. These things are heavy. When you're talking about a tank that has, half-inch thick glass, I want to say this thing here was about 400 pounds or so, maybe a little under that. But about that with nothing in it. Like, that's not including the water, that's not including the sand, the decor, nothing. That's just the tank, the glass itself. And 400 pounds is heavy. Yeah, it's just, once you get up to like the 500 range and above that, I can only imagine just how back-breaking heavy that would be. And that's, whereas plywood tanks, if it's still big enough, it's still going to be awkward and not easy to carry, but, and still probably have a good amount of weight to it. But, probably still won't be very, compared to glass, probably nothing. But thinking I want to build a plywood tank someday because, well, I want a Maboo puffer someday. And the only tank that would maybe come close to housing a Maboo, and probably even just on a temporary scale, would be the 240 behind me. And even that probably wouldn't work for a long time since Maboos can grow up to about 3 feet big. So, but that's a ways down the road here yet. There's a lot penduluming back and forth here in the balance yet before that project comes to be. But should it come a little more closer to fruition, of course, definitely will be letting you guys all know. Dan's World of Fishing More has, the chat just jumped on me a little bit. I'm going to go back up there, try to see if I can find her comment again. Dan, there you are. I have about a dozen empty tanks besides the 27 that I have up and running. Hey, there you go. You got one up on me there, though, Dan. I feel like once you get like near the 20-ish range or over, I feel like some people then say, like, are you obligated almost to call it like your own personal fish store then? I don't know. Like, some friends come down here and they're like, it's almost like a miniature fish store down here. It's like, yeah, the only difference is the fish aren't for sale. Well, unless I try breeding someday, which then it might change. But unfortunately, at the time given, I just don't really have a whole lot of time to breed the fish. With 26 tanks, it can be quite the chore just, keeping up with all those and keeping them clean here, which is also why I would say if you're getting a big fish room, like multiple aquariums, like, I guess you could even start doing this right away because it helps lighten the workload on you, or at least the time periods and when you got to do it. Something I always like to do is I kind of like to, over-filter. Hey, I don't even know if that's the proper word, because over-filter makes it look like you're giving it too much. And really, as I say, unless it's messing with your fish's swim patterns or, messing up the biocycle, there is never such a thing as too much filtration. Or at least that's my saying all the time. If I can put, like a 55, and if I can put like 250 gallons worth of filtration on there, let's do it. Because, I mean, it's just that much more helping keep that tank clean. And really, if you do that, then it'll probably prolong the time periods where you got to do a water change, because, it's going to be tackling on more of that dirt, fish waste and such, and it's going to have a higher capacity to do the job. But that's always one main thing I would always advise when a fisherman, or really even if you're just getting a tank or two, get a bigger filter on that tank to help lighten the workload on you, especially though once you get like some of us, where I'm seeing some of y'all when you say, 20 plus tanks and such, because otherwise if you're just giving it like the bare minimum of what it needs, that could the workload could add up very quickly. Which is I guess I'm speaking a little bit from experience, but I kind of started to feel that. I think it was about 15 or so is when I was starting to feel like, this is it's starting to become a lot. Maybe I need to slow down. But then I started like, well, we could always just upgrade the filters here too, and that would help prolong the time period of needing to do the water changes, and it helps. See here. Drum talking about the leaner piston again here. $80. Huh. I might have to look at that actually. Those are, I've heard good things about them, but those, I guess I don't know roughly what the price range is go on those, but I'm presuming that sounds good, because I know as much as usually a lot of people talk good about them. I learned that usually they're expensive. Let's see here. Paul McCarthy joined us earlier. Welcome, Paul. Good to see you. Melvin Reef here has also joined us. Welcome, Melvin. There's a couple of other guys here that I think I've seen here relatively regularly as we've done the stream here lately. Good to see y'all. Let's see here. Now, maybe here's the next question in terms of the fish room stuff. What's the biggest size tank you have? Obviously, my biggest is right behind me with 240 gallons as my biggest one for now. I could toggle it. No. That's a ways out yet. But, 240 is my biggest, but perhaps in your guys' fish room, what's your biggest? Anybody top that? Ooh, I was about to say, can anybody top the 240? And first person, here's Jerome saying, just throwing out the 275 gallon. Well, that didn't take very long. Sandy Doherty has 135. All right. I also really like the 125. I would, of like the top 3 favorite aquariums in terms of aquarium sizes you could have, 125s for me have definitely got to be in that range. I mean, 6 feet long, 18 inches front to back. I mean, it's an awesome little tank that, I shouldn't say little because it's 6 feet long and I'm 6'4". So, I mean, the tank's almost as long as me. But it's a nice tank that really gives you a lot of options of, what you want to do. Obviously, people put Oscars in those. I know, I have goldfish in there. I know they can make some really awesome African cichlid tanks or South American cichlids, whatever you're into. I mean, they just give you so many options. I've seen some people even put fajakas in those, which I guess there's definitely worse than 125s. I prefer to give my fajakas, that 2 feet front to back, but 18 inches. It's not like you're putting them in a 55. See, Chattanooga Ed has joined the chat here. Oh, I saw him earlier. What's your tanks? What's the biggest tank, Ed? I gotta climb up here again. 200-gallon tall. Like a 200-gallon column tank almost, Ed? Dang, that sounds pretty. Like a 200-gallon column tank feels like something you could just put in the middle of a room, like as a pillar to the room or something. That'd be awesome. Because I mean, I guess I can't remember if I've ever showed it on camera before, but I have a 75-gallon hex column aquarium that Yeah, I can't remember if I've ever showed it on camera before. Well, there's nothing in it. There hasn't been anything in it for a while. It needs to be resealed, which sealing hex tanks are nothing short than an awesome little treat. But I mean, that's a different discussion. But I definitely plan to reseal it someday because I mean, it's an awesome tank, and I got it for like next to nothing. That and a whole canopy set for it. I think I got the whole thing for like $100, if that even. But definitely plan to do something with that. I won't go too much because I don't know when I'm going to have the time to reseal it. But eventually we'll get to it. Let's see. Ray Aquatics has a 120. Those are pretty. Yeah, I like the 120s too. My chat keeps jumping on me today, folks. I apologize if I pause a lot here. I'm trying to cope with this. That just means we got a lot of activity here in the chat, which I guess is a good problem to have, though, right? Hillbilly Aquatic, 240 auto water change is a lifesaver. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, on my 240 here, I guess in terms of filtration, I got the Fluval FX6. If I ever got, I know some people would say, you know, sumps are the best one. And I guess I've never had a sump. I can't promote it nor demote it. Even really based on what people told me about it, I would have still no reason really to demote it. But, I mean, in terms of canister filters, I mean, there's a reason why I have two FX6s down here, one on Finley's and then one on this one behind me. They do a pretty stellar job. I have no complaints about the Fluval FX6 other than the price tag. $300 is still a lot, but still, with the job that they do, I'll do it every time when I have the money for it. Let's see here. Ben Backstrom has also joined us. Welcome. Michelle Kinsey, welcome. Another awesome couple of folks here join us. Arcus has also joined us. I apologize again, as always, if I mispronounce any names here. Being a writer, I'll admit it's kind of a good thing I'm not on the radio ever, or really a whole lot, because my pronunciation skills are not exactly stellar. So I apologize if I mispronounce anybody's name here in advance. But Arcus, I don't believe I've ever seen. Actually, I might have once, Arcus. I think I remember seeing you once or so. But either way, welcome. Good to see y'all here. There's all sorts of awesome folks here. 20 people watching, 16 thumbs up. What an awesome crew. Let's see here. Sun Ray Aquatics saying, my son gave me a tank 2 years ago, and it started all over. And then I turned on to YouTube. Now you have over... Ray, are you saying you got over 100 tanks? Dang! Or is that like 100-gallon tank? I can't... I don't know. I'm guessing it's a 100-gallon tank. Correct me if I'm wrong, though. Checking through the chat. Yeah. Chattanooga Ed, I missed your one about the 200 tall, or 4 feet tall. Wow. That, I mean, heck, if you make a decent sized canopy for it, then, I mean, yeah, well, I guess if it's an 8-foot ceiling still, that'd be one heck of a canopy still. But, well, I guess actually if it's 4 feet tall and it's an 8-foot ceiling, you do about maybe 2.5, 3 feet for the stand, and then maybe, you probably do at least 3 feet for the stand, and then you do about a short little canopy top if you did it, if not just a glass lid. Still, that sounds like it's a beautiful thing. That sounds like, man. Now, how wide is it though, Ed? That's the next thing, because 200 gallons, that thing's got to be huge. Oh, it was built into the wall, and you used a ladder to get into the top. I believe it. 4 feet tall is quite a tank. So I guess for retrospect to some of you out there that get 4 feet tall, my 240 here is 31 inches tall. So that's a little under 3 feet. Obviously 4 feet, 12 times 4 is 48. So, I mean, That's about another 17 inches taller than this. We might almost... I don't know if it would quite hit my ceiling down here for the basement, but it'd be pretty close. We might have a couple inches to spare. I don't know how well I'd be opening the glass lids on top anymore. It'd be, whew. Oh, there's Ray again. Whew, 100 tanks. Ray, I got to tell you, that's impressive. I will say now, yeah, with me, I know earlier I said I don't know if there's such thing as too many tanks, but no, I don't know if I could do that, honestly. I mean, 100 tanks, hey, kudos to you. That's awesome. 100 tanks is amazing. Speaking of amazing, another amazing person just joined the party. Welcome, T-Bone Fishies. Joining the party here. 22 of y'all here. 18 likes. All of y'all are awesome here. Such a great stream here already, with so many awesome people here. Here's the next question for the fisher. Now, in your fish room, what's your favorite fish? And by that, I mean like favorite species or something. Or if you want to tell me the fish's name or something, feel free. But it's obviously I don't need to go too deep on my favorite. I mean, obviously, the queen of the fish room here for me has definitely got to be Finley. I mean, Finley is it's kind of like a child, honestly, and I mean that in a good way. I mean, they show any signs that anything is off, and I'd be lying to you if I said I wasn't scrambling to try to figure out, like, okay, is she just tired? Is she sick? Is something going on? But yeah, Finley is probably my queen of the fish room here. I mean, I love all the puffers, of course. Every fish here is awesome in their own respective way, But, Ricky De Hoyos. Hey, Austin, how are you? I'm doing good, Ricky. Thank you for asking. Hope you're doing well yourself there. All sorry. Oh, before I forget here as well, I wanted to say real quick that once we hit 1,000 here, I'm gonna have some new merchandise stuff to give away here. I know I talked a little bit about this earlier stuff and such here. Some of y'all probably already know I have T-shirts made. I'm looking to maybe think about a way to get like a little store so those are easily accessible, because maybe some of y'all didn't even know, or maybe some of y'all just don't want a shirt, which is fine, of course. But to anyone out there that would want one, I'm just sitting here thinking, like, maybe I should get something out there, because I see other guys, like obviously James and Fishroom Fever are, I think even Chattanooga Ed, I think, don't you even have like a little place where people can buy shirts and such? I know another YouTuber, Rico Stan, does that a lot. Or not a lot, but he has a place where you can get a shirt. I think it's actually on Amazon, actually. But I'm also trying to find like another place, or what's the word? Not a source, supplier. That's the word. I'm looking for a supplier that can maybe bring the price down on them a little bit. To get them made by itself is a little bit under $25. But which I guess isn't terrible. It's like I think it's a 90-10 cotton to polyester, something like that, whatever. I'm trying to think of a way where maybe we could find a source that would maybe bring that price down to, by the time we ship it off and such, to at least 20. I don't know. That's me anyway. But because I also thinking of trying to figure out a way to design like a hoodie, since here in Western Iowa, the winters get quite brutal. In fact, I shouldn't say it's brutal out right now, but it's still like, I think the high today here in Council Bluffs, Iowa is only like 26 degrees. And I think we're expected, as much as it hurts me to say, I think we're supposed to get our first deal of snow tomorrow here in Western Iowa. I'm not going to say too much, because I know to some people that's some people would love to, celebrate the snow, while some people loathe it entirely. Daniken Aquatics has joined us. welcome. I'm presuming Kenny G, or maybe it's Danny, whichever of the two, or maybe it's even both of y'all. Welcome aboard there. Let's see here. Thought I saw another one. Levi's Aquatics joining the party here. Welcome, Levi. Chattanooga Ed had a dragon puffer and 2 pea puffers. Hey, those are like 2 of my favorite puffers out there easily. Actually, Ed, weren't you thinking about getting some pea puffers again? I feel like, I want to say it was maybe Thursday on, maybe it was your own stream, but Rico and James were with you, and I thought I overheard you that you were thinking of maybe getting some pea puffers again. Maybe I'm just hearing crazy things. Wouldn't be a first time, I guess. But if that's the case, man, absolutely. Hopefully, how long has it been since you had those puffers, Ed? But yeah, those are probably 2 of my top 5 favorite puffers easily. Dragon puffers, just because of all the markings and such they have. Whew, they are true freshwater beauties. And of course, the pea puffers, just because it's a little feisty fish with a big personality. Gotta love it. Paul McCarthy, yeah, Oscar's got great personality too. I mean, so one of the other channels that I watch a lot is KG Tropicals and such, and obviously we all know what they say about Oscars. They're honestly a big reason why I really want to give Oscars a try. I have a vacant 125. I feel like I bring this up every stream, but thinking of putting Oscars in there, but there's like 3 other things in my head too that's like, this would look good in the 125. This could otherwise be pretty good. I'm going to build a 2-tier stand since I already got the 125 with the goldfish, and that way I can just put them in one spot, because my other 125 I purchased did not have a stand coming with it. It's just the tank. I actually even got to get lids for it yet too. But yeah, it's a work in progress, but eventually. Danica Clock's even saying, yeah, I mean, I agree. I definitely need to try Oscars at some point. Honestly, at some point, my father once upon a time, this was before I was born, but my father once upon a time had Oscars. I myself, though, it's one of the fish that I've thought about for a long time, and I've gotten close to buying a couple times, but it's one of the fish that currently I've never kept. I have never had an Oscar in my fish keeping time yet. I've gotten close a couple times. There were a couple I think there was a Black Friday even a couple of years ago where there was a long fin black Oscar, and I mean, the little guy was about, I want to say he was about 3 inches, maybe a little smaller than that, but he was a little beauty. Oh man. The only problem was at that point, I was still living in my apartment, so the best I probably could have been allowed to put him in would have been a 40-gallon breeder, which I guess granted still gives the 18 inches, but it's only 3 feet side to side. Thus, a fish that can grow over a foot, not the best home for an Oscar. But now that I have a whole basement here, I can maybe get a 125 up and running. Yeah, I'm still saying that for that empty 125, once I get it going, Oscars are probably the number one choice still right now. Although I have thought about moving angelfish over into it instead of the Oscars, not with the Oscars, to clarify. But I don't know, just a little something I've been thinking about. But yeah, I'm still thinking that Oscars are something I got to try here, because they look cool. I hear a lot of great things about them. I got to give them a try. Let's see. Pride more. Could have kept a couple in the bathtub. It's funny you say that, Pride more. I mean, my old apartment had 2 bathtubs, so I probably could have. I mean, honestly, what I did, was when I did like water changes and such, I just dumped the old fish water in one bathtub, and then my bedroom or the master bedroom of my apartment had a bathroom connected to the bedroom, so I just always use that one for everything, I guess. Whereas the other bathtub, yeah, I just dumped in the old tank water and such. And boy, when I moved out, I mean, I always tried to keep it, where it didn't smell or look too grimy or anything. But, there'd still be some sand and rocks in there. Still a bit of a challenge to clean up on move out day. Oh, let's see here. All sorts of awesome people. T-Bone's Fishy. I've only got a little fish at the moment, but one day would like to own some bigger fish like angels or Oscars, or maybe even cichlids. Absolutely. Well, I mean, if you want to be technical there, T-Bone, angelfish are cichlids, but I won't go down that path. I'm kidding, y'all. But I guess depending, I don't know what your limit is for a tank right now, but I would say, honestly, if you could get like even a 55 or maybe a 38. 38, though, doesn't give a whole lot of back and forth. But if you get a 55 in there, like I once upon a time had like a group of 6 marble angels, and that was, whew. I mean, I like angelfish in general. Angelfish are easily my number 2 favorite fish for good reason. The thing I really love about angelfish, other than the fact that my uncle used to breed them, who lives up in the Twin Cities, they just look like they float. They're such a, I guess I would call it a peaceful swimmer. It's so therapeutic. It's so calming to just sit there and watch them swim about. That's something that I really like about the angelfish, regardless of the kind. Although marbles are definitely still one of my favorite types of angelfish. I would still say my favorite that I have currently down here, I have these ones called Blue Diamond Platinums, and I got a couple of regular ones. I also got a couple of, I think I got a lyre tail one. I also think I got a veil tail one as well. And whew, just that pure crisp white with like the light hits them just right. It's almost like they're a pearl scale, or like they almost have like maybe not glitter, but like a little gleam to them. Whew, it is gorgeous. I'll never get tired of it. Paul McCarthy, I'd love to keep a puffer. Well, Paul, what kind of puffer are you thinking about? There's all sorts of. That actually reminds me, I'm actually working on another puffer video. I feel like I've kind of been on a puffer trend though lately, so I'm gonna have to get some other stuff. I initially wanted to. There was a fish swap going on in Davenport, Iowa, which is on the complete other side of Iowa from where I live. But because I live in, as I said earlier, Council Bluffs, which is way on the western side of Iowa. Davenport is way over on the eastern side of Iowa, which is about a 4.5-hour drive. Even with a heavy foot like mine, but we won't go into that. Main thing, things just didn't work out for that. But as I was saying to Paul earlier, who says who'd like to get a puffer, I'm actually making a video suggesting puffers for, I guess I don't want to say a whole lot, but I'm making a list of some puffers that, to those of you that maybe can't get like a big tank, like the 150 that I have Finley in, or a 75 where I have Mekong River puffer that we saw not too long ago in. I'm making a video where giving some suggestions of what you could put in a tank that's 40 gallons or smaller. So keep an eye open for that here in the next couple of days. I was hoping to get it done before this stream, but when I do like list videos like this and try to throw in at least a couple of tips and bits of information about this, I try to take my time with this because I want to make sure that the information I'm giving out there is indeed, up to date. Because, sometimes new things get updated and such, and sometimes I just want to double check to make sure that, they're now saying, hey, don't do this anymore, do this now. Always got to double check that because, as we discover more and more about the world, things change. But if you're thinking about getting a puffer here yet, Paul, keep an eye open for that video. Maybe that'll get you brainstorming a little bit. Let's see here. All sorts of folks talk. RB Animals and Movies. Do I have any videos on pea puffers? Yes, I do. RB. I actually have, I want to say a couple actually. There was a video that I made when I moved my pea puffer trio out of a 10-gallon and into a 20-gallon hex. I believe I gave some care tips on that one. Otherwise, I do have a video that's solely about like how at least I care for my pea puffers. So yeah, I actually got a couple of videos on pea puffers. See, this is where I got to get a moderator, guys. I got to get someone that can post like links to this and such. Like I say, if someone's interested in that, feel free to message me or something. But yeah, I need to get on that for to post links and such like this. But I mean, I guess I'm capable. I can find the links on my own, I suppose, here too. It just maybe looks a little awkward for y'all on the screen here as I do it. I'm going to see if I can find that. Well, now my cursor's being silly, of course, because, you know, we can't add, we can't just, there we go. There we go. I already forgot he said it, but to those of you that were asking about the pea puffers, there you go. Well, if it posts. My computer's also been, I don't know where. Oh yeah, RB, that's right. You were the one that asked. Well, there you go. The link I just posted is a pea puffer care guide that I made, I think it's about 6-7 months ago. But I will say also this, really with just this, I mean, while I know some of my care guides have gotten more views than others, I would always say still, especially with puffers, that can sometimes be a challenging fish. Pea puffers are by far the easiest one, though. Always make sure you check out multiple sources. Like my recommendation is always, you know, I always go to at least 3 different sources before I, you know, pull the trigger on a fish here. Unless, you know, like with puffers now, you know, most of them have some very similar, you know, needs. You know, you got to watch the teeth. You got to put them in tropical water temperatures. Sometimes they like it a little colder. Sometimes they like it a little warmer, but pretty much all of them can tolerate a temperature, or at least the majority of them anyway, can tolerate a temperature anywhere between 74 to 78, which I know can 4 degrees is a bit of a fluctuation. I wouldn't say you'd let the temperature fluctuate that much, but somewhere in that range, if you keep the temperature there, then I would say most of my puffers I keep somewhere between 60, or not 60, wow, that's cold, 76 to 78 rather. Except my Amazons. My Amazons I have up towards about 80 degrees. They don't mind, Amazon puffers don't mind warmer water. The only reason I probably don't have it a little bit warmer, because I know with Amazon puffers, some people would tell you that they even keep them in 84 degree water. I actually even know a man that's kept them in 86, which I think is just wow. But, you know, they don't mind it. They like the warmer water, but I don't know. The whole reason why I don't want to go too much over 80 ever is, you know, just because I like the live plants. It helps, you know, suck up those nitrates and nitrites. And if you get too much above 80, it kind of gets hard to keep those plants from melting. Let's see, T-Bone. I don't have room for a large tank at this point in time, and my missus will not let me have a tank in the bedroom. I mean, my missus won't let me bring anything above the basement. Fortunately, it's a decent-sized basement for me, though. But I have 3 tanks, a 10-gallon, a 20-gallon, and a 33.5-gallon. I would like a 75-gallon. Yeah, 75s. I mean, talking about, like, my favorite tank sizes out there, 75 is definitely up there for me as well. It's, I mean, little, obviously more limiting than a 125, but I mean, still a pretty good size, 4 feet side to side, 18 depth there again. That 75s are another nice tank out there. But I feel like, yeah, 75, I feel like, is once you start getting to the big boys and such. I know to some people, 75 may still not be, you know, all that big really, but I mean, you know, I consider it a big boy just because, you know, that's once you have to consider the weight that the tank is. Because, I mean, obviously by the time you put all the water, probably a substrate and decor in your tank's probably going to weigh well over 1,000 pounds, which is probably another thing about the fish rooms. If your fish room is, upstairs, keep that in mind. That's why I always put my fish room on the lowest level, which I would say if you have that option, I would always put the fish room at the lowest level here because glass is heavy by itself, but water adds up very, very quickly. I mean, even a 10-gallon on its own can, be around 100 pounds and such? I mean, that's just a 10. A 10 can weigh around 100 pounds. And then, I mean, like I just said, a 75, once you get there, bang, you're talking about weight in the 4 digits at 1,000. I mean, yeah, water weight adds up fast. So definitely got to keep that in mind there, though, too. Yeah, see, Ed, I'm right there with you. I mean, I wish I had more 75s as well. I currently have 2. Well, I guess if you include my 75 hex, which is vacant and needs to be resealed, then I guess you could say I have 3. But in terms of up and running, I have 2. Yeah, 75s. I like them. I absolutely think they're an awesome tank. I mean, it's a great cichlid tank. You can probably do a number of puffers in there. I know some people put fajakas in a 75. All I'll say is that's not my recommendation. I would say with fajaka, if you can give them a 120 or 125 at least, that's better. But I guess there's worse tanks than 75. But I sure as punch wouldn't go lower. Let's see here. I know there were some people talking up here earlier while I was going on a deal. Well, Arcus earlier I saw at my local fish store had a fajaka for a trade-in and was only in the store for a few days. It was beautiful. If I had the real estate, would have bought it. I mean, yeah, that's kind of the main thing of why I don't have a Maboo puffer, really. I mean, I was actually just getting a message from a fish store just not too long ago. I think it was actually, just like 3 days ago, was messaging, hey, I know you talked about it once upon a time. I got a couple of Maboo puffers here. They're about 3 inches right now. If you're interested, I could cut you a deal on one. The only problem is, I literally have nothing down here that would house it. I would have no long-term plan. And Maboos, much like fajakas, grow super fast. I mean, I think Maboos even hit like a foot before a year comes. I think once they start getting about a foot or maybe about 14 inches, then they slow down. So, I mean, I guess if I had a Maboo, the 240 might work for a year, 2 at most, perhaps. That's probably being generous to myself there. But, I just have nothing down here right now that could house a Maboo for the long term. And, I mean, unless you have a tank that's like the size of, almost a lake, then you probably won't. But I don't know. Someday, though. Someday. S saying, ooh, yes, S. Imagine if you got that 75 hex up running with P puffers. S, it's funny you say that. That thought has come to my mind, actually. I've thought about exactly that. Just getting like a big piece of wood, putting it in the middle of the tank, and just like sticking little bits of moss and Java fern on the side there, maybe with some Anubias. And just loading that baby with some pea puffers. I'm not sure how many you would do in there. I mean, it's about 36 inches. I'd have to measure it again. It's been a hot minute since I've messed with that tank. But I want to say it's about 3 feet wide. So it's got a lot of wide space and such. But I don't know what. You could probably put about, I would say at least 10 or a dozen in there probably if you put enough in there to break up the line of sight. I mean, big piece of driftwood in the middle with some moss and such. Maybe some jungle val since it grows tall. I mean, oh yeah, I've thought all about it, S, and I'm right there with you, and I'm starting to think, that might be what I do down the road. I've also thought about maybe using it to get like a pair of discus in there with like some ram cichlids, which I think would also just be a gorgeous little setup. But yeah, that pea puffer idea, it came to my head one day, and it has not left. It's still lingering with me big time. See, Chattanooga Ed thinking the same thing. Hey, great minds think alike, guys. Melvin Reef saying, somewhere down the line, I would love to get some frontosas. Geophagus, I don't know what size of tank for frontosas or Geophagus. Yeah, unfortunately, when it comes to cichlids, I'm not the most knowledgeable, confessingly. But I'm trying to remember what store. We have a store here in Omaha that has a frontosa show tank, and it's simple, but it still looks really nice. It's basically just they have a bunch of Texas Holy Rock with that salt and pepper sand look, and that's really all they got. And I think they got a couple of plecos in there too, and the frontosa seem to play nice with them. So it's a cool little setup, very basic, but sometimes the basic ones are the ones that look nice. But I'm trying to remember how big that one tank is they got. I want to say it's almost like 150. Granted, though, they have like a dozen frontosa. So, I mean, maybe you're not looking to get that many. So if you don't get that many, then perhaps the tank size could go down to maybe, I don't know. I'd hate to throw a tank suggestion and size out there when I really don't know a whole lot. But I would say maybe a 125 because by the looks of theirs at the store, they're about a foot. So it looks like, okay, if that's roughly about the range they reached, then a 125 could still look good for, I don't know, however many. I'll stop there because, I don't want to say something when really it's not my area of expertise. And I certainly don't want to tell something incorrectly on purpose. I think it would have to be a Fahaka puffer. I had no idea the Maboo got that, but yeah, Maboos get huge. Maboos can grow, about a yard big, so 3 feet. I want to say Murphy at Aquarium Co-op is he's 2 feet at least. I mean, once they get over a foot, their growth spurt slows down tremendously. But I still want to say Murphy is 26 inches right now. It's about give or take 2 feet right now. It's right around that 2 feet area. But yeah, they get big. Mississippi Hippie, don't think I saw you earlier. Welcome. Don't think I ever said hello to you earlier, so I'll say hello to you now. Let's see. I know the metalheads are going to be streaming here soon, so I don't want to go too terribly much longer and step on their toes. Especially since they do a nice little stream over there as well. But we'll talk here for a little bit more here. Danikin. Rogers, the Vikings 2020. You do understand this weekend would be so easy to make fun of those Vikes. I kid. Kenny. Yeah, I mean, I kid. But, I mean, I will give you this. You guys definitely, y'all got us. So, there's that, though. Technically, Rodgers, though, is under contract for one more season. What if he stays? Well, we'll see, I guess. But, Kenny, now you're bringing flash as a Brett Favre back through my head, man. Oh, the betrayal. The pure betrayal. Hey, here we go. Another awesome fella joining the party here. Bob Kaler and Kaler's Aquatics and Exotics has joined the party. Love that new little name. Kaler's Aquatics and Exotics. It's like it almost sounds like a pet store name, not going to lie, honestly, Bob. Kaler's Aquatics and Exotics. Sounds like a kick butt aquatic and reptile store. Another awesome person joining here. Yellowstone Aquatics saying hello. Welcome, Yellowstone. Good to see you. Another frequent visitor, of course. Oh, I gotta freeze the chat now that I see Kenny is commenting and such. As long as we have Cousins, we will continue. I don't know about, the joke of the league. Hey, you still got a better record than the Bears. Good thing Rico's not here right now. If Rico was here right now, he'd be crying foul on me big time. With him being a Bear fan. But, oh yeah, that reminds me. It is Bears week for the old cheeseheads. But I know some of y'all are into sports, so we won't go into that. But, yeah, Mississippi hippie. Yeah, I was saying that earlier there, hippie, about Detroit. It was one heck of a game, though. It was quite the game. But, I don't know. Kenny, you got a better record than, I guess sometimes that a better record isn't always better. You're still kind of in playoff contention, I believe. My Fish Tanks Aquatics, welcome. I think I actually might have saw you at the beginning of the stream, actually. Either or, hello. Oh, let's see. All sorts of awesome folks. 25 of y'all, 26 likes. Y'all are awesome. If you haven't already, though, be sure to hit the like button if you're listening, lurking, or just having something for a little background noise. Whatever you're doing, it's appreciated for y'all tuning in here. Obviously, y'all already know where the subscribers are at. We're getting close to 1K. I guess I don't think I've ever talked about the watch hours. The watch hours are about 3,000 right now. Obviously, you got to have the 4,000 public watch hours. So I guess, as long as I keep putting content out here for you guys to watch, I guess that problem will take care of itself, right? But yeah, maybe some of you that are still relatively new to the channel haven't seen all my stuff. I'm not going to lie, I kind of watch some of my older stuff, see the edits and my fluency throughout the videos. I sometimes cringe watching it a little bit, but I feel like that's all of us, right? When we first start, you got to start somewhere. But yeah, if you want to help out with the little watch hours, feel free to, maybe backtrack or see some videos that maybe you may have missed or had fallen between the cracks here. I know a lot of people like puffers, got plenty of puffer videos. Got a couple of angelfish ones here as well. I think I got some on betas down here as well. I know I got a couple of goldfish ones as well. Been a while since I've done anything about my goldfish or my angelfish, really. Might have to change that here soon. And oh yeah, speaking of playlists there, Bob, I do have a couple of them made. I got like some fish store playlists, obviously some care guides and such. I'm trying to think of other ways to get like some playlists and such. Well, that way, and also when people check out my actual channel page here on YouTube, if you're, sometimes you just sub to a YouTuber, because you sub for that one or two main things, and then the rest is just kind of like icing on the cake, I get that. Some people just do that, but which is all good because it counts all in all. But thinking of trying to find ways to get more out there. I might get more. I might have to make a puffer playlist because I feel like that's a reason why a number of y'all also sub here as well. But yeah. See, Bob, great minds think alike. I was just saying, I need to make a puffer playlist, and right there he is in the comments saying puffer playlist. Great minds think alike. Let's see. Saying hey because I'm a Bears fan. Oh, okay, so that's why. Okay. Bears fan, feel free to bash the line. Well, here's my thing with that, my fish tanks. If I ever meet a Lions fan, I always say I never give them any grief. And it's funny because here in Council Bluffs, actually, there are a few Detroit Lion fans here, despite, mixing it in with, Dallas Cowboy fans, which are all over, the Bears, the Chiefs. We still got some people that are Rams fans back when they were in St. Louis a few years ago. Some Bronco fans here as well, Vikings, but also some Lion fans. And, there was a night where I was with some friends, and I had a couple of my friends were Vikings and Bears fans. And, being a Packer fan, of course, we always talk that smack. and they earlier said that, yeah, they were a Lions fan. And she asked me earlier, like, now I got to ask just because I'm curious, sir. I know you're a Packer fan, and you were just giving the Bears and the Vikings people here a little bit of grief. I'm just curious, and I feel like I'm going to regret asking you. You don't seem to have a whole lot to say about me being a Lions fan. My response is always, if you're a Lions fan, there's nothing I can say that'll make you suffer more than you just watching your own games. I'm sorry, that's probably terrible. At least that's what I always say is, like, hey, if you're a Detroit Lions fan, I can't make you suffer any more with anything that I say versus, you just watching your games. You guys have suffered enough. I'm not going to add insult to injury. Hey, I see we got a couple of Eagles fans, though. Arcus and, hey, Fishymon64. I don't think I saw you here earlier. Welcome, Fishymon. My youngest brother, who serves in the National Guard, he's an Eagles fan. I got a couple of cousins, believe it or not, that are like right in the backyard of Vikings territory, too, that are Eagles fans. I got a couple of friends that are Eagles fans. I got a friend that lives in Lubbock, Texas, which is like, that's about 3.5 hours away from Dallas, who's a huge Eagles fan. I know a lot of Eagles fans. To Eagles fans, I always just say, thank you for Reggie White. Hey, here's an awesome channel that's just joining the party. Manes, Tails, Fur, and Fins. Welcome, Jess. Awesome channel. Right there, too. I'm sure a lot of y'all already know who Jess is, though. But to those of you that perhaps don't, the one reason alone to subscribe to her channel is to watch her awesome aquatic morning stream. And I mean, it's always awesome because she always seems to have a few people on that there as well. And I absolutely love watching that stream whenever I get up for it. I mean, I'm usually a night owl, so sometimes I'm working down here in my fish room till like 2 or 3 in the morning because sometimes I don't get home until like 10:30 or so at night. But so whenever I am awake, though, I always love checking in, seeing what Jess is up to and the people that they're talking there. But yeah, if you haven't subscribed to Manes, Tails, Fur, and Fins, make sure you do because, yeah, those morning streams, lots of fun here. As I'm sure a lot of people here in the chat that I know I've seen there before would tell you as well. It's a fun little stream there to start off the day. Here, Argus, yes, Reggie White. Honestly, some of the people out there just say, like, hey, if you could bring any NFL player back, like, that's no longer with us, not out of retirement. But it's like, honestly, I mean, being a Packer fan, for a player, I would say probably Reggie White. And then for a coach, I would probably say Vince Lombardi. I mean, well, Vince Lombardi, all you can simply say is cancer sucks. Yeah, it was cancer because, yeah, he had colon cancer is what ended up getting him as he was young in his tenure at the present-day Washington football team now. Back then, they were still the Redskins. But, yeah, he did, I want to say, 3 years in Washington before it all ended for him. But, yeah. Danikin. Walter Payton, yes, that's another class act there. Although, if we're talking about Bears running backs here, being from the Council Bluffs, just right next door to Omaha, Gale Sayers is another one. Although, I know Rico Stan met Gale Sayers earlier, and unfortunately, it didn't sound like he had too great of a time, but that's Rico's story to tell, not mine. But, yeah, I don't know. I always got to take a little pride on that just because, it's, he's an Omaha kid, or at least Gale Sayers was an Omaha kid. Drink of choice, Arby's Jamocha Shake. Hashtag not sponsored. Adele Sandry is joining the party. Welcome, Adele. Finally getting here, was putting up Christmas decorations and everybody else wanted Christmas music. I'm not gonna lie. I've been listening to it. How soon is it for it to be too early to listen to Christmas music? There's the next little fun question. Oh, speaking of which, I see we got Mary Page Flynn here also joining earlier. Almost missed you there earlier, Mary. Welcome aboard. Adele also saying, only Vikings game I've ever been to was a few years ago, and they lost to the Lions. Sad. It's just weird. The Lions always seem to have the Vikes number. I mean, for some reason, though, Green Bay always insists on playing Detroit Week 17, which I'd be lying to you if I said I still wasn't a little nervous about that game. Because, I mean, Week 17, with the record the Lions have right now, they're not going to be in playoff contention. They're going to have nothing to lose. Whereas Green Bay, obviously, still right neck and neck with the Arizona Cardinals, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, trying to get that number 1 seed in the NFC. And, obviously, if you're a Packer fan, we would love to have the playoffs run through Wisconsin once again. It'd be, it's a lot different, when if the playoffs go through Tampa Bay or Arizona, which, are down in the south and warm places versus, going up to the way north by the Great Lakes to old Green Bay. I can tell you now, there's not a whole lot of teams in the playoffs that are going to want to go to Green Bay in January. I never get tired of Jamocha shakes. I love these things. Partially because I like coffee and chocolate so much. Let's see here. Some folks. Catfish Nation is joining us. I don't think I ever saw you earlier. Welcome. ABC Aquatic Biotape Creations. Welcome, ABC. I was almost going to wrap this deal up, but we got some people joining in and some awesome folks that are still here. So, I don't know. Like I said, I don't want to step on Metalhead's toes too much here, but all right, we'll go a little bit longer here, but not too much longer because, I don't want to step on Metalhead's toes for too long here. But all sorts of awesome folks here. Yeah, this is just one of those streams where, you just don't want to end. Mains, tails, fern, fins on my question earlier. After Thanksgiving dinner, then you can start Christmas caroling. See, there you go. Like, I will say I usually try to wait until Black Friday. Like, give Thanksgiving its time is my philosophy. I give because, I like food. So, turkey, ham, love all that stuff, even though the turkey makes me sleepy every daggone year. But otherwise, I don't know, pumpkin pie, the mashed potatoes, gravy. Ooh, mashed potatoes, especially when you got gravy. I got to stop talking about that or I'm going to make myself hungry here now. Mashed potatoes and gravy, beef or turkey gravy, beef gravy, country gravy. There's no such thing as a bad gravy on mashed potatoes. I love them all. Let's see here. Now, here's the next thing. Now that Christmas is coming up around here, what fishy things do y'all have on your Christmas wish list here? I can't even begin to start with what mine would all be. Obviously, honestly, most of mine is just getting some 2x4s and such, and maybe some plywood just to build some stands down here. I got a 90-gallon bow front. Well, actually, I got a stand for the 90. I just got to put a sheet of plywood because since I built that 2-tier 75-gallon stand, I got the old 75-gallon stand still sitting down here, and I'm thinking of just putting a piece of plywood on there and checking it out earlier. The 90-gallon bow front would sit on there just fine, so I'm just going to put a piece of plywood there to help evenly distribute the weight, and we'll probably just roll with that, but But, ABC, now you're really going to make me hungry. Biscuits and gravy. So, I'm pretty sure I have said it. So, I've lived like 90% of my life here in Iowa. But 1 year of it was in Maryville, Missouri, because I went to school at the Northwest Missouri State. I was a Bearcat for a year. Otherwise, after that was over for a year, just didn't really work out. I moved down to Texas to finish up and get my bachelor's degree. I was down there for a little over 4 years, little under 5. And, boy, some of the biscuits and gravy you can find down there in the South, especially Texas. The country sausage gravy and the biscuits is to die for. Love me some good biscuits and gravy. See, Ed's the same way as me right now. You got to stop talking about food. Dinner is sitting in the kitchen right now. See, I don't even have anything cooking, so you're closer to food than me, Ed. Oh, I gotta start thinking about like what the heck I even want here. I'm like, shoot, all this talk about food, I'm getting hungry. I still even ate it's been a few hours now since I last ate. Just a few boneless wings. But yeah, we better stop because I'm gonna make Ed hungry, I'm gonna make me hungry, and then there's gonna be just an abrupt end of the stream. And YouTube just gonna have in like closed captions, stream ended for food break. Stream ended due to severe case of munchies. All right, let's see here. Monster Fish Gal. Don't think I said hey to you at any point earlier. Welcome aboard here. Say, every time I'm starting to think about wrapping up, we just get some more and more awesome folks here. Oh, here we go. Adele saying, my son started a competition where whoever gets the longest without hearing Last Christmas, gotta be by the Wham version, wins bragging rights. I lost at Menards this Saturday at 10:45 a.m. Yeah, I've heard the Wham version. Oh, my goodness. At least a handful of times. I've heard it a few times for sure. It's I don't know. I mean, I don't love the song, but it's one of those for Christmas. You got to hear at least once or twice. Otherwise, it just doesn't feel like Christmas if you don't hear it. I see Chattanooga Ed heading out. See you later, Ed. Probably see you in another stream, maybe tonight or within the next couple of days. Thanks for checking by, though. Those of you that haven't subscribed, I mean, I'm pretty sure if you've heard of me, you probably have heard of Chattanooga Ed and are already subbed. But in case you guys are not, make sure if you haven't heard of Ed or subscribed to him, make sure you go to his channel. Do exactly that and subscribe to the man. Got all sorts of awesome content on there. Gets a part of all sorts of live streams as well. That's all sorts of awesome stuff going on his channel. Starting to see some folks are and out here. So, yeah, guys, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. We're already about 20 minutes over the slot where I usually go. I know the metalheads are live here. While I wrap this up here, I'm going to go ahead and try to find their stream as well. So if y'all want, y'all can march over there. Let's see here. Whoop. Apparently I didn't mute. There we go. Eventually, I think my mouse is starting to go bad on my laptop. All right, y'all. I'm going to go ahead and paste it in here. To those of y'all that stuck around here for the whole time, or even just the lurkers, the listeners, as a good friend would say, appreciate every single one of y'all. But, yeah, guys, I think I'm going to go ahead and jump here. If y'all are looking for another stream to watch, I'm going to go ahead and paste the Metalhead stream here shortly. But to all y'all, thank y'all so much for joining the stream here today. And, of course, for all the continued support. Again, as I said earlier this stream, I'm going to have another video out here soon. I'm going to have like a little video continuing like the puffer trend here about I'm going to give some suggestions for puffers that can fit in a 40-gallon breeder or smaller. I don't want to say too much and spoil the video, but make sure to keep an eye open. That should be out here in the next day or two, maybe 3 at most. But keep an eye open for that. I'll have that out here shortly. But as always, thanks for checking into the stream. All the support you give, getting closer and closer to 1,000 here. Couldn't do it without you guys. Y'all are awesome. I will see you all in the next stream and in my next video, guys. Stay fantastic. If you're looking for another stream, check out Metalheads, which I'll put here in the chat shortly. Stay fantastic, guys.